Hello and welcome to Cricbuzz as we try and firstly recover from that second one-day international between Australia versus India. And what we're going to do now is try and dissect it because my emotions are still going. I can't figure out what happened. Did India win it? Did India lose it? Did Australia lose it? Did Australia win it? All here on Cricbuzz. So quick summary of the match. Over 550 runs were scored, which is amazing in itself. Such an entertaining game of cricket. Australia won the toss and set India in, and they were able to pick up 274 runs. Smriti Mandana, the best of him, 80 runs, and then you had Richa Ghosh again showing she's pretty good at this level. And then nice little partnership at the end to get them to that total. The Indian fast bowlers, well, they knocked out the Australian top order and they were 3 for 34 within the 10 overs. Now, the Australian side has never been in that situation. However, majority of their batters, even batting down at 8, bat in the top 4 in their domestic side. So they always had players that are used to batting time. And Beth Mooney, who got elevated to the top, who finished unbeaten on 125 player of the match performance. She was able to ensure that she batted throughout the innings and had great little partnerships and cameos with Talia McGrath and Nicola Carey. So the positives for India. They got over that 250 mark. That is something that they've been talking about, and they wanted one of their openers to go big. Mandana did. Actually, to be honest, Shafali Verma and Smriti Mandana had the best opening partnership they've had in one-day cricket in a very long time. The only issue was that as soon as the wicket fell, Mitali Raj came in, and she should have come in. Absolutely, she should have come in at number 3. But she just slammed on the brakes, didn't she? She just didn't look comfortable in getting off strike. And Yastika Bhatia, she fell to the short delivery as well. But when Richa Ghosh came in, she was able to nudge the ball and get up the other end. It actually got Smriti Mandana's innings going in the right direction again, because whilst Mitali and Yastika were there, she really slowed down. Richa Ghosh, Julian Goswami, I mentioned that again. Huge little, well, a big partnership right at the end. Julian Goswami, 38 years of age, and she was using her long levers to full advantage. She just understands the game sense and does exactly what the team needs. What did India do wrong? Well, I think they probably left 20 runs out there, to be honest. I certainly felt, and the Australian team mentioned that they felt 275 was actually par. But if they didn't slam on the brakes after that first wicket, if they scored another 10 runs, or if Smriti Mandana was able to convert the 80 to, like a Beth Mooney, a 120 plus, then you're looking at something close to 300, which is absolutely going to challenge any team in the world. India conceded so many runs in the last 10 overs, and I actually wonder if the Indian women's side, because I don't think the Australian side is used to playing in dewy conditions. We've got to remember that majority of women's cricket is played during the day. Very rarely do they get to play prime time. So again, this is another skill that will take a bit of time to get used to. I think the Indian players probably have a better understanding of it than Australia, but that's just my take on it. There were a few sloppy fielding efforts. Poonam Yadav missed a catch. There was an LBW decision that should have been given out. Couple of run-outs, even in the last over. Julian Goswami, I know she's a fast bowler, she follows through, but she got back to the stumps, but she was in the wrong position to effect a run-out. So there just seems to be panic. We still focus a little bit on India in pressure situations. The 2017 World Cup final, 50 over, and then the T20 World Cup final in 2020. They do seem to panic. The good thing is that it was the young players who have hardly played international cricket. So don't be critical. You cannot coach players in this situation. They have to be put in it and for coaches to see. Then you can have the discussion about it afterwards. And no doubt these young, talented cricketers will learn from that experience. Julian Goswami, she got India into the contest. She absolutely set Elisa Healy up perfectly. I mean, the ball shaping away and then the ball nipping back. So good to watch. However, she comes in for the last over. And like I said, I don't know how many times she has bowled the last over and the ball has been like probably a cake of soap. And she just wasn't able to execute, unfortunately. It is a tough skill to bowl with a wet ball. We've already mentioned about Mithali Raj and her scoring rate and how she felt like she couldn't get off the mark. I think 8 off 20 odd deliveries. Unfortunately, she can't do that. If they want to continue to score closer to that 300 runs, she's just got to find a way to get up the other end. As for Australia, well, they live to fight another day and their winning streak continues. They definitely got out of jail with that one because India seemed to have the luck of the draw. Even from a batting perspective, balls were flying in between fielders, landing awkwardly, and Australia wasn't able to pick up regular wickets, hence why they scored that many runs. For Australia, they'll be on cloud nine. You could see the reaction from the players that it was almost shock. How did we get out of that one? And I feel for Nicola Carey because I've seen her in WBBL matches and she's unfortunately not been able to get her team over the line. She has done in this occasion. And for Talia McGrath and Nicola Carey, who don't normally get a lot of opportunities, and Beth Mooney, who normally bats 5, boy, they put their hand up. Australian top order went missing because India bowled so well, but the depth of the Australian team showed again. Talia McGrath, outstanding effort, not only with the bat, 74, but also picked up 3 wickets. But that partnership between Beth Mooney, 132, she was the one that really got going. Beth Mooney was the one that was holding back. So, what can India do? I mean, they'll be hurting. They'll absolutely be hurting. And it's a good thing, to be honest, because it means that they care, that they're disappointed that they didn't get across the line. But they have only got 1 day off before the next game. And whilst it's a day-nighter and the Sunday game is a day game, there isn't that many hours in a day. So they've got to put that aside, focus on the positives. India is still building nicely. This series is absolutely alive. And if anything can be taken out of this game, is that India has arrived and they're here to play.